Good morning. It is 11:30 on the 9th of April, 2024, and that means it's time for another Taco Tuesday session here at WiLS. I am pleased to be joined today by reps from several of our great vendor partners to show off some of their cool stuff. So, with that incredibly eloquent introduction, let me pass the baton over to returning presenter Shannon Glant, coming to us from TDS Health. Shannon, you ready to take over?
I am. I am.
Let
Thanks,
me stop
Jeff.
sharing my screen and then it'll be all
Okay, I'll
yours.
go ahead and share mine. Can you see this screen here?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. And I always love coming to join you for Taco Tuesday. Thanks for the opportunity. Uh, Today, I'm going to be talking about one of our products, Anatomy TV, powered by Primal Pictures, as you can see here on the screen. For those of you who are not familiar with TDS Health, our company has been around for over 34 years now, and we partner with various companies, publishers, and medical societies to offer a curated collection of healthcare resources, mainly in the academic setting, but also in the clinical setting. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to focus on our Anatomy TV product. Primal Pictures is the name of the company, and Anatomy.tv is the platform that it's on. So I will be using these names interchangeably. Primal Pictures, what is it? It's the world's best digital human anatomy and physiology content for education. Little bit about Primal briefly. They've been in the business as well for over 30 years. Their 3D and digital anatomy resource was created from real human data, so it's 100% accurate. There were two bodies, male and female, that they completely mapped both bodies and then built this product from the ground up. And they've been expanding and updating and improving the resource for many years. Really covers so much with anatomy, from gross anatomy, assessment tools, functional anatomy, imaging, dissection, clinical, and more. So there's a little bit there for everyone. Some of the features I'm going to touch on when we jump into the product in the moment. A very simple smart search button to find exactly what you need. The embeddable viewer feature to embed fully interactive content directly into your learning management system. Personalized logins for really customizing the user experience. It's mobile compatible across all devices. There are integrated help tutorials, some Spanish versions of a couple of the modules, augmented and virtual reality, a student interactive quiz with a free mobile app. It's fully a la carte. Sorry about that. It's fully a la carte. You'll see many modules, but you're welcome to purchase just one module, multiple, or packages, whatever fits your needs and budget. And then, of course, we provide a 10% discount for all WiLS members. Okay, we'll go ahead and jump into the product here. Now, this is the Anatomy TV homepage. I'm going to touch on a few features and functionality before just doing a quick overview of the modules available and who might use them. So first, I wanted to point out over on the top right here, we have this little person button. This is how you create a personal profile that's going to customize your experience. Just add a couple of details here. And then in the future, you can log in with your email address and a password. And what that does is allow you to go to the recommended button here, and I'm not signed in, but it's going to pull up front and center the modules that you use all of the time for easy access. You can access your favorites across any device from anywhere. And then you can view some of the recent materials that you've looked at just for easy access. I also wanted to point out that there's this, here we have a main menu. There's a lot of tutorials and FAQs and assistance you can find here, but I really love this up icon arrow. It just provides a little bit more of a viewing screen and gets rid of that top banner. There's a simple search. So if you purchase multiple modules, you can just enter a simple search, and it's going to search across all of your modules, allow you to filter over on the left-hand side by media type, by the product, region, or system of the body, and so forth. And then offers these nice thumbnails so you can see what you're going to be viewing. You just click on one of these thumbnails and it takes you into that exact area within the product. So just a really easy way to find information. You'll also notice next to each of these modules that we're going to touch on, the small I for information icon. When you click on that, it opens up some additional details, quick start videos to help you use the product. It lets you know what the product is for, who should use it, and then offers some additional help. So just some easy tutorials right next to each module. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to, I know we're limited on time, so I'm just going to do a quick overview of what's available. These modules can be for high school anatomy and physiology, to undergraduate level learning, to graduate level learning, as well as some patient education within the clinical setting. So the learning outcomes, we'll start at the very top. The learning outcomes is basically everything a medical student needs to know related to anatomy, in a really nice breakdown of short video tutorials presented by an expert in the field. There's some supporting materials, slides, interactive models, some additional videos and more content, and they will be adding board style questions soon as well for some additional support for the learners. The disease and conditions is literally pathology for anatomy. So it's showing you how diseases and conditions affect the body. Sorry about that. And they do that through a collection of brief videos, as well as supporting text and imagery and PDFs and such on the right-hand side. You can go through the causes, symptoms, treatments, and such as well. Broken down by various specialties, and then with each specialty, it shows you which conditions it covers as well. Now, this is great we find a lot of nursing students, medical students, and such use that resource. The next two modules are the Atlas and Real Time, which are both gross anatomy. The Atlas is broken down into the 9 regions, really for students who want to learn where structures are and what they're called. There's some wonderful text, some interactive models, MRI information, and some additional materials as well to support that. The 3D real time does have mobile apps for each of these regions, and it's really it's like an online cadaver. And allows you to do online dissections and really create those models or those images that you really want to view. It's very detailed, very structured. The functional, and you can purchase these all separate. The functional anatomy is as well going to focus on some of the gross anatomy to help your students learn that anatomy. But there's also going to be movies and animations and slides supporting actual function. Anatomy and physiology is 20 modules related to the anatomy and physiology for the high school level or the college undergraduate level. And it's kind of set up like a very interactive textbook with wonderful imagery, movies, animation, slides, all of the text, and some assessments as well throughout the materials that really supports the students learning this information. Does include some clinical text and some additional materials as well. The quizzing model is based on that real-time, fully functional, fully mobile activities to create your own assessments. And this is for a student side of it only. So a student wants to learn a bit more about anatomy, they can download the app and use that right on their phone. Palms is another assessment tool, a very in-depth. It's some like souped up flashcards, but it really evaluates what the learner, if they're missing questions, if they're too easy, and it modifies the information based on the actual student level. It's kind of a smart system, and it does include some additional capabilities for faculty. We have imaging, and then all the clinical specialties as well across dentistry, communication disorders, pelvic floor, and more. So there's a lot here. We do offer, I can do a demo really based on anyone's needs, the library or faculty needs. We can customize a la carte purchases. I'm happy to provide pricing and also trial access as needed. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up my PowerPoint again. So you see my contact information, which Jeff has as well. I know we only have a couple minutes left. So I would love to hear from everybody, love to provide additional information. And I think that's about it to wrap up my presentation.
Thank you so much, Shannon. I always love it when you're here on Taco Tuesday because I don't know, I'm always just astounded at what some of these resources can do, like what you showed us today. I mean, these like virtual dissections and like bodies in motion and various exercises and how they work different parts. I don't know, that stuff just blows my mind. So I always love seeing that stuff. I will encourage, or I'll remind folks that TDS Health is one of WiLS order direct vendors. So if you unlike most of our vendor partners, if you want to buy something, kind of the transaction flows through WiLS. That's not the case. You would work directly with Shannon, come up with the pricing, get the materials or the access to the resources directly from her. But you're still getting a discount by bringing the virtue of being a WiLS member and our partnership. So thanks again. Please use Shannon's contact information or mine. We will gladly put you in touch with them. And if you haven't noticed, keep an eye out. Shannon sends out monthly updates, and we pass those along to our members as well to keep you up to date on what's new at TDS Health.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jeff, so much. It's so great working with you.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We feel the same way. Thanks so much for joining us today, Shannon.
Hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to share my screen again here just to get us teed up for our next presenters. So joining us next from Infobase are Lisa Hill and Chris Diedrich, and I think we're going to be hearing a little bit about Credo today. All right, let me stop sharing my screen so that you guys can take over.
Do you want to start, Chris, and give a brief intro?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, well, certainly welcome everyone. You may remember Lisa and myself, we did a full-length product walkthrough of Credo last week. We'll have that recording available soon to send out to all the members. And today we're going to be talking again about Credo and some of the customer-facing options and tools that are available in Credo. And just as a reminder, there is a open trial that's currently running till the end of June. If you don't already have access to that, please reach out to myself or Jeff. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lisa.
Thanks very much, Chris. Just setting my little timer here, knowing that I don't want to go over. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. As Chris mentioned, we did a pretty thorough walkthrough of Credo reference last week, and so I'm not going to do that again. I thought today I would use my 15 minutes to show you how Infobase supports the Credo reference customers and the tools that we have to hopefully get the biggest bang for your buck when working with Credo. I'll usually start by just giving a basic overview of Credo, just in case you don't have time to look at the 45-minute demo that we did last week. So I'm going to walk you through how we talk about Credo with our higher ed customers. And what we really are is a research starting point for those individuals who are trying to do academic level research for the first time, trying to step away from Google and step away from Wikipedia and really think about the sources they're using and learn how to think critically using academic resources and resources that their institution is endorsing. We talk to customers all the time. And one thing we hear is that research can be very overwhelming for any number of reasons, whether it's siloed content, whether it's just the sheer amount of information that's out there. And you know, this image of this guy, this is the student that Credo can help. It is the student that was given an assignment by a faculty member saying, go look up peer-reviewed articles on X, Y, and Z. And the student is like, I don't even know the definition of the word he's talking about. So we want to be that little bridge in between, you know, those peer-reviewed journals and the student that's kind of starting academic research for the first time. So Credo reference really tries to position itself at the beginning of the research process with kind of three different elements. The first is our content. Second would be our interactive tools that kind of makes the platform sticky and memorable. And then third, we have integrations that will allow you to hopefully, you know, put guardrails up on the research process for your students so that they don't get hit a dead end, go back to Google, go back to TikTok, go back to wherever they were getting their information before. And point them towards next step databases that your library is investing in. So the first thing we talk about is our reference content. Come to Credo to get background information on any topic from any one of over 100 publishers of high prestigious premier academic reference. The academic core collection's around 800 titles, and we're pulling that content from these 100 publishers. And you can see a smattering of the publishers that we work with. All of it is full text, and you can search them all together all at once. They're fully indexed in all discovery, etc. Very easy to use. I like to think of Credo reference sort of as a Swiss Army knife. You can use this as a bookshelf, or you can use this as a academic alternative to Wikipedia with one search box. We also have a mind map, which is aids exploratory search. It encourages students to uncover topics and terms they've never heard of before, even if they think they're experts in a specific topic. The third thing that we have would be that federated search, which allows students, as I mentioned, guardrails. It's those they're not going to hit a dead end. They get the background information and images. Credo has well over 500,000 images that your students are welcome to use for research and educational purposes, sort of an academic alternative to Google image search in that regard. So students can get their background information on any topic. They can get images that they need. Now what? Well, we're going to point them off to the other databases that your library subscribes to, then invests in. The librarian in the library determines which those databases are that the students are going to see. So if you're an institution that has a robust discovery system like EDS or Summon or Primo or OCLC, this could be an alternative for those students that look like that student on my opening slide saying, this is too much, it's too overwhelming. I need a slower pace to get in to really understand what it is that I'm looking at. Alternatively, if you don't have a robust discovery system, Credo can be used to kind of elevate the other resources that you'd like your students to start with after they get their background information. This deck, I'm going to show you where to access it. This is actually a PDF. I'm not going to bring you all the way through it, but it has a screen for every single page. It has a page for every screen in the Credo platform with a description and an explanation of everything that you're looking at. I'm going to show you how to find this. And this is going to be part of the rest of my presentation. It's about how you can take what is freely available. And if you're trialing right now, you don't need authentication to get any access to this. This is freely available to you on our support site. So I'm going to go there right now. And the easiest way to do it, if you don't have a link directly to it, so I'll just show you. If you go to Google and you search for Credo reference, and then the word Zendesk, because that's the name of our support software. And it's the very first thing that you see. Go ahead and click that. So this is freely open. If you're trialing our product, dive into this and you're going to get all of your questions answered. This is contains not only any answers to any technical questions about any third-party integrations that we have. It's all right here. But what I want to show you is what we have to help you promote the usage and awareness of Credo with your students and on campus. So if you click on the training and promotional materials area, first thing I'll show you is a Credo webinar. And this is a recording of the webinar and also little short clips of different features within that recording. So in this webinar, I'm doing it. I talk about the mind map. I talk about how to manipulate the title list and create fully customized title lists, like for an economics LibGuide or for a dogs and cats LibGuide, whatever it is you might be building. Basic searching and image searching. These are 2-minute videos, little snippets that you can place into a LibGuide as a how to use the mind map type thing. And you have these share features. You'll note all of our little training videos have this little share feature on the top. And that's where you can grab whatever link it is that you want. If you want to link to it, great. Here's an embed code. If you want to embed it, you can tweet it out, LinkedIn, whatever you want. You're welcome to share these help videos in any way that is helpful to your students and to your faculty members. And that's something to remember about Credo reference is, yes, we're an ideal place for that confused student to start, but we're filled with full text encyclopedia articles, images, etc., that can be included in introductory courses. So you can embed our content. You can embed mind maps directly into the into a course page or a LibGuide or anything like that. This is the full 30-minute demonstration. And again, feel free to share this wherever you'd like to share it. It'll a little bit similar to the one that I did last week, but this is from the summer. And the one I did last week is all about the eclipse. So it showed all the images and everything that we have in Credo. I mean, it's yesterday and we're probably all full of eclipse images in our heads now, but still it's a pretty fun thing to share. The demonstration PDF, it's what I just used, is linked right here, right? So you click on that. And this is a train the trainer document. I used it to walk you through what Credo reference is all about. But as I mentioned, there is a page for every single screen in Credo reference as you scroll down the page, including admin. And one of the great benefits about our platform refresh, which we did over the summer, is we seriously upgraded our admin. Now our admin is integrated with all of the other Infobase resources that you might subscribe to, be it Films on Demand or Issues and Controversies or Bloom's Literature. You'll find Credo reference right next to those resources in your admin. So let me go back. So you'll find that demonstration, shareable videos. We'll go back to training and promotion. We also have shelf talkers and logos and posters. And shelf talkers we created because they were specifically requested. And for those of you that don't know what shelf talkers are, they're 3x5-inch cards that you can print out. You can put them onto your bookshelves to let people know that we have ebooks. You know, ask your librarian how to find it. And that's important to remember about Credo reference. We are full text ebooks. You can treat us like an individual book if you want to. Maybe you only use one book in Credo reference. That's totally fine. You'll find it on our bookshelves, and you can treat it that way. Faculty members can link to individual books, or students can look for individual books to help them with a specific problem in what they're working on. So you can either put this onto your bookshelves or use them as leave-behinds for orientation. Just it's a little ad for Credo. Give them to faculty members for specific departments, and you'll see that we have quite a few options here. We also have posters and logos if you need logos for your website or anything like that. A product page description. So if you need to put something on your A to Z list, you'll find it right here. And then we have some posters and handouts. And these are, again, things for orientation. They're things to leave around the library. And again, it will walk you kind of through the why of Credo. I didn't actually give you a live demo today, but hopefully you'll take a look at the live demo that gets sent around via WiLS. We have a poster that simply highlights our mind map, and this is a great tool for students. It's that sticky aspect, when things that students will remember Credo for. Like, what was that database where I was able to make my own mind map? That's Credo reference, and this little leave behind is a nice reminder for students that maybe want to find that again. We also have some humor mixed in with our posters, because obviously Credo reference is all about doing research the right way, and everything that we have in Credo reference obviously has a full citation available in 4 different formats. And this is just a cheeky way to reference the fact that Credo has citations. This is actually one of our more popular posters. We'll see this printed out quite a bit. We have a table tent as well as something for public libraries here for our juvenile reference in a collection that WiLS does not have access to. And then we also have a poetry contest here. And this is, it's used by both public libraries and in the kind of orientation beginning phase of college orientations. I'm going to use that word again. This is a way to kind of get students engaged in using the platform. All of the rules are written here. You don't really need to lift a finger. You have to come up with a prize, whether it's like a T-shirt or a cafe gift card. But basically, students would take 5 words from any mind map they make, and they build a poem with those 5 words. It doesn't have to only be those 5 words, but it has to be built by the mind map using the different words they find in it. So it's kind of a fun way to engage students into the mind map. I have 5 minutes left. Okay. Then we have the feature walkthroughs and videos. Again, that training PDF that I showed you. We also have the search tips, explore the mind map, click through walkthroughs. And these are things that you can print out, again, embed anywhere you want to embed. It's just a way to kind of reinforce again and again that we have these great features, and you guys know where to best place them. If you have any requests for things that we don't have, our ears are wide open. And the last thing I want to show you, the last 5 minutes, this is really one of the biggest things that we've spent like 10 years cultivating, and that is our LibGuide. So we have a subscription to LibGuides, just like many of you. I know a lot of our higher ed customers subscribe to LibGuides. And so what we did is we created over 60 guides, and we flooded it with Credo academic core content. So I know that the open trial that Chris referenced is for academic core, which means when you come in here, you're going to see content from academic core and only academic core. So this is just a different way of kind of touring the different content that's available on the trial you have access to right now. So our support team, whenever we release a new book onto our platform, will add it to this LibGuide. This happens to be the African American Studies LibGuide. So what we'll do is each of our 70 LibGuides will have a books page like you see here. So this is every book in the academic core collection that you're going to find in Credo, but we have it here as well. If you click on any of those links, you're seamlessly brought into the platform itself. So you can begin treating this book like an individual book and searching it or browsing it at your leisure. I'll close that down and go back. Then we also have these tabs that our editors have curated by subject. So you're going to find, if I clicked on slavery and abolition, so you'll find result pages on abolition, American Civil War, Atlantic slave trade, Dred Scott decision, Emancipation Proclamation, etc. I'll click on abolitionism. And that brings you right to the abolitionism result page, which has our mind map, which has the full site summary article, which has the library resources listed. Those are those next step databases, those guardrails that we'll put in place. Sorry about the speed here. And that will show whichever databases it is that you subscribe to. Come back to that. Going back to our LibGuide, so you'll find that we have a number of tabs for each guide, but we also have some special guides, kind of like homemade guides that we made for you. We have 30 seconds left, and that's down in the C's for Credo. So you'll find right here, the Credo search box right here. And these are search boxes for different subject areas that you can embed into your LibGuides very easily. There are instructions here. Our support team will help you. And very quickly, here's an example of a customer using our guides. The education in Credo, institutions, alternative and special education. So these are all of the tabs that we created, and they simply copied and placed them into their own LibGuides and published them as their own. That's why we created them. So if I go over here quickly to our education guide, you can see that it will match. So go down to education and Credo, books. So there's ours. And once you copy our guide into your own, you can then edit it. And you can take books out. You can put it in an EBSCO search box if you want. It doesn't matter. We just want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to use our content where your students will be. So that is what I have. I'm 30 seconds over. Sorry, Jeff.
Lisa, think nothing of it's well worth it. I think so sometimes I'm just like blown away by some of these things. I think like this level of focus and work on usability and like making it easy for not just students, not just librarians, but also faculty to like incorporate the resources into lesson plans, just general library instruction, just general library use. I think usability is one of the like real highlights of the Credo resources, and I'm really glad you spent so much time on that today. I think that's a great thing to focus on. Thank you.
Awesome, great.
Super cool. Well, I'll kind of reiterate what Lisa and Chris said earlier. There is a trial going on right now for WiLS academic members. Please take advantage of it. Contact me, contact Chris if you don't already have access to it. It's just, I think you said it runs through June, right, Chris? Like the whole rest of the fiscal year, like you can be in there really seeing what this resource can do for your institution.
Yep, through the end of June.
So great. Well, thank you again for joining me. Lisa and Chris both mentioned they did a longer form webinar last week. I'm going to make sure that if you're watching this recording, you will also have gotten the link to that recording. I'm going to make sure that recording is, in addition to being sent out on its own, I'll include that link into the follow-up email on this Taco Tuesday as well. So hopefully we've got people looking at both at the same time. Well, maybe not simultaneously, but anyway. Thank you both for being here today.
Yep, Jeff, thanks again. And we really appreciate these opportunities to engage with the WiLS members. And thank you all for coming.
It's our pleasure. Yes, thanks so much. Have a great rest of the day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Now I'm going to get us ready for our next and today's last presenter. Joining me today is Dr. Chris Luttroff coming to us from the Juice. Chris, are you ready to take over and show us the juice?
Always. Let's do it.
Great. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can take command here.
Cool. Again, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. We're glad to have you here.
Okay. And Jeff, just to clarify, from now till about 20 after?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Thank you so much, Chris.
Anytime. Thank you. All right. So hello, everybody. We've been partnering with WiLS since last year. We love doing it. And this partnership running through the library systems in Wisconsin has really been really revelatory for us. And, we listen to a lot of our librarians and our educators who are using these platforms, and we encourage you to keep giving us feedback so we can keep making them better. So I did one of these before last October, but I'm going to start again here from the beginning just to make sure that everyone understands how the platform works. So this is how it works. So each day we have a team of journalists and educators waking up early to write, edit, and post 5 news stories for students in grades 5 through 12. Then our content team, these educators and these journalists, then they rewrite these news stories at 4 different reading levels, the lowest being levels 5 and 6, and the highest being 11 plus here. And the premise behind the platform, behind the juice in general, is that we want our students starting the day with the good stuff, the juice, so to speak. We want them to be able to keep up with current events. We want them to be able to do so in a non-toxic space. We don't have any advertisements. We don't have any editorial page. We don't have any opinion page. Each day, right before school starts, students get an email to their inboxes that says, your daily juice is ready. And if you've ever gotten like a New York Times News Digest or something to that effect, it's very similar in that it'll run down the day's news. The students click on the link inside the email. There are also other ways to access the platform. But once they do, they are brought to their landing page. Now, what you're looking at right now is a teacher's, this is a teacher login. So because I can kind of show you about the student edition and the teacher edition here. And this is what it looks like. We know that many students are accessing the platform on Chromebooks with that are maybe a little dated, with internet that is perhaps not quite up to snuff sometimes, especially in schools. But it's designed to run quickly. It's designed to be easy. And within the 5 articles that students receive, one of those articles is going to contain an infographic like this one. And I just want to stress, we make all of our own content here. There isn't anything from anybody else. We're not aggregating. This is all of our own design. And you can check out our team on our website. They're very accomplished people, leaders in their fields. We think it's important that students are able to analyze data depicted. So that's why you get one infographic each day. In addition, one of the 5 articles will also be from our ongoing series called On the Bright Side, which is what you see right here. Everybody loves cats, myself included. One of the articles is going to be an uplifting story. It's going to be a positive story. It's an SEL consideration because we do know that the news can be a little dark sometimes, and we want our students to be informed, but we also don't want them to be saddened by what they read every day. Also, in addition to those 5 articles, in addition to the On the Bright Side and the infographic within them, you're also going to get some supplemental really cool content. You're going to get a poll every day on a student-centered issue, just so that students have a means to engage with what they are reading online. 2, you're going to get a word of the day. It's a vocabulary question. It's just a single question, as you can see here. You're also going to get a quote of the day here usually from a famous person. Sometimes it's from the arts, sometimes from the media, sometimes it's from sports. It can be from really any place, just so the students are getting a bit of daily wisdom and perspective. We have a great video creator who makes a great new video for us each day. What is folk medicine, which is what we have here. And then the perennially underrated, if you ask me, 5Z, which is perhaps a bit like Wordle, but we use vocabulary from our articles. And just like our articles, each one has 4 different reading levels. This too has 4 different reading levels. So it is leveled content as well. And the purpose behind the leveling is not just, to meet students where they are. It's also, we designed this platform with differentiation built in. Like, that's not an option really. That's just kind of like what we expect to happen. So that's to say the 4 different versions of the news stories are all going to have the same meat and potatoes content. So that way students really, unless the educators tell them, are not going to really know whether or not their articles are leveled. They might not know the leveling exists unless the teacher lets them know. So within the articles themselves, each one of them is brief, 250 to 280 words. But at the end of each article, there's always one comprehension question. One question we get a lot from educators is like, why aren't there more questions? And the answer is, well, there are many answers, but among them, to me, the most important one is because we want them to do it. We want this to be informative. We want it to be fun. We don't want it to necessarily feel like school, but we want it to have real weight behind it. And we want it to be accessible and not onerous. So within the articles themselves, they're 250 to 280 words, as you can see, but also within the articles, you're going to get a couple of basic things. It's going to be the one comprehension question, which you see here, the multiple choice question. You're going to have the reflection question as well, which is, open-ended, designed to invite teachers or even students, if they're going home to their parents, to talk about this stuff. As you can see by this one here, you don't really need to know the subject matter super well to be able to chime into the conversation and have a little bit of perspective. We want students to be informed about what's going on. And then there are a lot of readability considerations here. So first of all, we have a dyslexia-friendly focused reading format. If you toggle this button here, it's a dyslexia-friendly font. 2, you're able to print articles, and you can not only print, but decide what you would like to print, which I think is an underrated feature as a longtime former English teacher myself. You can listen to any of the articles as well, speed them up, slow down the narration with available text highlighting you can turn on and off. And you have instant translations side by side into up to, I believe, 75 languages, including 2 different versions of Chinese, 2 different versions of Spanish, 2 different versions of French. And I want to stress that this is not coming from like a Google Translate literal context. This is one of the 2 places we leverage AI to make the platform we think better. I can vouch for the French. These are stellar translations on the whole. And even the comprehension question is able to be translated like that. Within the articles, also the vocabulary words that are tier 2 and tier 3 vocab, we define these, give you phonetic pronunciations, you can hear them pronounced out loud. And perhaps my favorite feature of all in the juice is the extra juice features. Now, we know that students who are reading this for the first time, or really the 3rd or 4th time, might not know the whole background on Ukraine and what is going on there. So to make this more accessible, what we do is anytime you see this orange next to a word, this is an extra juice feature. You click on it, and they're always question and answer format. And we always start at square one to kind of normalize the fact that it is okay to not know about something and to give everybody a way in. So this is a brief rundown. What is Russia? What is Ukraine? And it, again, starts at square one. What's going on between Ukraine and Russia? And it's in this question and answer format because we feel like these are the questions that students are asking. Now, I think everybody could probably get from what I've shown you so far how the platform basically functions. But what's really cool is that this is an educational platform for the classroom, for the library, for really any context or any subject matter or subject area, I should say. If I go to my student dashboard here, we got 2 panels for analytics and teaching tools. The first one, the dashboard, is more of a macro level view of all your different classes or all your different, let's say, library students. And then the second one with the class tab up here, this is more of your micro level data. So if I go to my dashboard, this is my big picture here. I can see on the left-hand side the overall completion rates in each of the classes, the average scores in each of the classes. But if I scroll down to the bottom, this is where we really get into cool stuff. These are my 4 reading levels represented, as you can see here, corresponds to the colors over here. And we assess these questions according to state standards. This is the great part, is that the students don't know this, but each time they answer one of those comprehension questions on the article, and it's just one, remember, per article, what happens is each one of those is aligned to the Wisconsin ELA standards. So you're actually using it as a benchmarking tool the entire time, which takes me to our class tab over here. Once you've ascertained this data, or maybe exported it, because in each of our windows, we always have a one-click export to get this into a spreadsheet, so that way teachers and librarians and administrators, that way you can do something with this. Once you have this data, then you go over to your class tab, and here's where it really opens up. The Juice is also an intervention tool for reading interventions. So we're using nonfiction to teach this really great stuff. I can pick, let's say, a window of time, like let's say last week, right? And these are all my students in my class. I'm a huge soccer fan. That's why they're all soccer players. And I can look around and say, okay, this is the span of time that I've chosen in my score report. And the score report we'll be releasing quite soon. We're really excited about it. We've been working on it a long time. And it will determine for me, I can pick an amount of time and decide, how are the students doing at their current reading level? Julie, green, she's at 9 and 10. Killian here is orange, he's at 11 plus. So what I can do is use this data to tell me how well my students are doing and run reports on how well they did during a span of time that I've chosen. I can go to the progress tab then, and now it becomes the full intervention tool. Now what I can do is say, okay, I can have it run a report. And this is the other place we use AI. And you get to choose, we really put the educators in control here. Like, how do you want to use this? What we could do here is say, all right, so if Julie's answered 57 questions at this rate, it's taken her this amount of time, this is measured in seconds, we've already worked out how long it should be taking students at each of the reading levels to answer each of the questions. And in the background, the platform will run these reports on either a weekly or monthly basis, depending on what you choose. And it will issue recommendations. Here it would be, oh, maybe I should raise the reading level. Sometimes it'll say needs more help or needs more time. Sometimes it'll say lower the reading level. And if you turn on auto adjust, these in the background, students will just get these reading level adjustments automatically. Or you could turn that off and just have it tell you, what the recommendations are, and you can choose whether or not you wish to accept them. This is also a great tab in class here to find out how students are doing with their daily juices. You get these 6 data points per day. It's the 5 news stories with the question at the end, plus the vocab question. So I can look in just like any other platform and see the completion rates. I can look into an individual student and say, okay, I wonder how Julie's doing according to a certain standard over, let's say, 2 weeks. I can look in and say, oh, wow, here's the standard, because no one's got these committed to memory, I could choose a different one if I'd like. I could see what her scores are versus the class average. One-click download. If you have a parent coming in or something like that, it's another great data point to show how kids are, ascertaining meaning from these really challenging nonfiction texts that are level appropriate. And then you can also assign work too. And this is where the search bar comes in. So if I go to my search tab, one thing I'm able to do is say like, all right, if I know, let's say Julie is struggling with standard 11-12.2. And I know that no one likes to practice stuff they don't enjoy doing or they're struggling at doing, right? So I can say, I do know that Julie loves soccer. And I can say, hey, Julie, I found, this is every soccer article we've ever written that assesses that standard. I can say, hey, Julie, I found this great soccer article for you. I'm going to assign it to you because I know how much you love the sport. I can assign it to whole classes, to individual students. And now I'm like remediating micro-targeting a skill here, but my student really just thinks that, I'm assigning her the articles like this one on the Women's World Cup that she actually wants to read. It really, everybody wins. And you could use this in social studies to scaffold on ongoing current events. You can use this in ELA for benchmarking. You can assign everyone to the same reading level and curate a list of texts. But one of the last things I want to go through is one of our biggest updates that's coming very shortly, I believe at the end of this week. We've been working on this for a very long time, and we're really excited to bring it to you. So if I turn off my filter here, like I said, all of the comprehension questions are focused on the ELA standards for Wisconsin, but we now have just completed our alignment with a bunch of other subject areas. We use the Common Core for science and math, but we use the C3 standards for social studies. And we've been in the process, because we've been doing this since 2020, of going through our 11,000 articles across all 4 reading levels and going in and saying, okay, so tagging these articles and saying, all right, well, it's a social studies article, it's a civics article, and it's about these subtopics or these within economics or geography or history. And we really value, different perspectives in history, place, religion, and culture. And in STEM, these are the domains within the discipline that really show students and the importance of their subject matter and make a lot of the STEM stuff come to life. So it's truly interdisciplinary across the board. And we're really excited about this update in particular. And I believe that's 20 after. So I tried to time it. How did I do, Jeff?
Chris, you did great. I don't know. I know I say this every time I see you, but I am always blown away by what you guys are doing there. I think I've just never ever seen anything like this. I love the overlap of a reading comprehension tool, of current events, and just like, I don't know, just a platform for like teaching students about reading the news and like caring about the news and making that a part of their life or their daily function
It's
as
a,
they
it's
transition
been a
into adulthood,
routine.
you know?
Yeah, it's been a routine throughout time, and we really think it's important students are starting their day in a non-toxic, non-fiction current event space.
Yeah, I love it so much, Chris. And every time you show something new that you are rolling out or some other feature that I hadn't seen before, I'm always like, oh my gosh, like what can't they do with this platform? So
Well, we're listening. A lot of our best, pretty much all of our best suggestions come directly from the people who use the platform, the library media specialists, the teachers, the administrators. And I should just mention one quick last thing.
Yeah.
Via this partnership with WiLS, and we're really delighted with it. We're offering the juice at a really significant discount. And if anyone has any questions, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to show you around the platform, show it how it works for you.
Thanks again, Chris. I will reiterate
Anytime.
what you said. The pricing through WiLS is fantastic. So
It is.
if you haven't looked, please do. If you have questions, please reach out. I know that Chris will be happy to answer them. We'll be happy to answer whatever we can, and we will get you looking at this this product because it really is. It's totally unique. As far as I can tell, I've never seen anything like it before. So
Me neither.
all right. Well, thanks again, Chris. And thanks to our other presenters from earlier in the session today. We have come again to the end. I know Tier, we've come to the end of another Taco Tuesday, but don't cry too much because we have more tacos coming. As I am delighted to tell you every time we have another helping coming in 2 weeks. So join us again for another Taco Tuesday session here on April 23rd at this time, at this place. Talk to you again soon and have a great afternoon. Bye.